Hi, everyone. I'm Sid Solomon, and I am not on my walk to work. That should be pretty obvious. I'm inside, I'm not walking, and I clearly haven't shaved for a few days. And the reason I'm not walking to work is because there is no work today. As many of you probably know, if you've noticed, my show, The Play That Goes Wrong, has shut down for a few days because we've had a handful of positive COVID cases in our company. But good news, we are scheduled to reopen tomorrow. That's Wednesday, for those of you keeping track. And I am very excited to go back to work. I'm also really thankful for my union contract right now. That's the Off-Broadway agreement negotiated between Actors Equity and the Off-Broadway League, because my contract requires that even when our show is shut down because of COVID, the stage managers and actors still get paid. And beyond that, even when the show isn't shut down, when one of our workers has to quarantine according to CDC guidelines, they still have to get paid even though they're not able to show up to work. That's a really good thing. And I feel like this offers a really good opportunity to talk about our contracts, specifically when it comes to staying home from work and the ways in which I hope we are learning from COVID as a union, as workers, and how that will change the way we negotiate our contracts. If you work in this industry, you have at least one story of powering through an illness, of feeling beholden to the show must go on as a culture, whether that's because you are being coerced implicitly or explicitly by your employer, or just because it's so deeply ingrained in us that the show's supposed to go on and we're supposed to show up to work no matter what. Nothing should keep a stage manager or actor from showing up to work. And in doing so, in just about all of those stories, we are putting our fellow workers, not just the stage managers and actors, but everybody that we interact with, at risk. That's not a good thing. And unfortunately, in so many of Equity's contracts, there's financial incentive to show up to work. Because, for instance, in my contract, if you're not thinking about COVID, if you're just looking at the general sick pay guidelines, you only have a certain amount of accrued paid sick time. So there gets to be a point at which, if you're sick with something other than COVID, you might be in a position where you're making a financial choice. Do I want to show up to work today and get paid even though I might be sick? Or do I want to stay home, which is the right thing to do, both for me and for my fellow workers, but not get paid? I think it's time for us to radically rethink this part of our contracts and to simply say to our employers, if our members are sick, also if our members are injured, if our members simply cannot come to work for any of the innumerable number of reasons that a person just shouldn't show up to work, they should be able to stay home. And that's it. And get paid, and not have to make a financial choice about staying home sick or not. And in the long run, that's going to be good for everybody. Fewer people showing up to work sick is better for all of the workers and ultimately will be better for the employers. And to those who say, well, if you can just stay home and not work and still get paid for it, and so why wouldn't people just do that? You obviously haven't met our workers. Again, we want to work. I'm going stir crazy. I haven't been to work in 4 or 5 days. I'm getting paid. I still want to go back to work very badly. I want to be around my coworkers. I want to be back on stage. I want to be doing my job. I want to be working. If there's one thing that we all have in common as workers, it's that we want to work. But let's get rid of the financial incentives in our contracts that make us feel like we should work even when we shouldn't. It's a big change, but it's one I think we can make. I'm Sid Solomon, and hopefully I will see you on my next actual walk to work.